Welcome back to episode 9, is it? Yeah, episode 9. Thank you so much for the such great views for the last episode, even though it was very long. I appreciate all of you for watching that and for coming back to this episode. Before we get into the shenanigans that we'll be doing this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe and, share this episode. We're going to be doing some redstone tutorial-ish stuff that you'll be free to take and, use the advice however you want. I don't mind. Obviously, use credit if you want, or, share the video. Yeah. Anyway, so we've been working on the beach since last we spoke. As you can see, we kind of figured out what we're going to do with the lighting. Oh, wow, I got a little disoriented there. We're going to use yellow frog lights, which I kind of like. For the most part, you don't really see where they are, but this whole beach is lit up because of them. We haven't worked on the... Ooh, that's the wrong direction. We haven't worked on the shelf yet. As you can see, it kind of just cuts off and goes down. That I think I will time lapse. I think that'll be an easy time lapse to do. We're not really going to do much sand. I mean, we're going to do a little bit of sand to kind of as much sand as we went up the rocks with. So it's not going to take more than like 2 stacks, but we definitely have to get... Well, here's the thing, and I'll show you what I mean. So over here, we did a little bit of off-camera terraforming, water forming, ocean forming, aqua forming. I don't know what it's called. Anyways, we did it so it's a closed system. So obviously we had to close off the end of the canyon and then close off this side of the canyon too because it keeps going. And this side we had to go all the way up, obviously. And I don't know, what do you think of it? We put in a lot of oceany stuff. It's all well lit. Got a lot of different corals. It's about a shulker box worth of stuff. Just a shulker box. I didn't go too crazy. I like it. It's fun. We still have to put in some tropical fish. So if you can, if you want to think of some names, you can put them in the comment section. I might get to that in this episode. We'll see. I'm trying to shoot for a long episode this time as well. I think that's just kind of like the vibe we're going to go for. Now, you're going to know this more than I do, is can we get an hour-long episode out this week, or is it going to be every other week? We'll see. This week has already been very busy with IRL stuff, so we'll see. The other thing we did kind of off-camera was we kind of modified the iron farm. As you can see, there's hoppers going down, and as you know, redstone around water, very much a pain, but what it does is it auto crafts into blocks now, and it auto turns that into bone meal. So essentially, and I don't know if there's even a good way to look at it, even with free cam, if I'm being honest with you. Let me see. You can kind of see some of the redstone that does. See, up there is the item sorter, and then right here is the crafter, and then it's hard because this whole thing has to fit here, and then it also has to be, you can't have like a spawnable surface for the iron golems. Now, as much as we like to cosplay that we're like Hermitcraft or Hermitcraft adjacent, we are not Hermitcraft. We do not have the Hermitcraft server, and one of those things that makes it very apparent that we're not on the Hermitcraft server. Oh my, that was very loud for me. That slime block is still there, and it's getting set off by, I believe, a fish. That's fun. Is it rains a lot on this server. And the way I have this iron farm set up right now is, here, we'll go free cam, so we'll get rid of that noise, is it's all set up, or it was, I've kind of disconnected now. It was all set up to a light block that goes through this chimney. And so when it's raining, because, okay, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Iron Farm 101. If you have an iron farm, even on a single player, if it runs for, I haven't tested it, but at a certain point, the AI for the villagers will lose track of their bed. And as you know, a villager needs a bed to make a village. And if it doesn't have a village, you can't make an iron golem. So every once in a while, you have to either make the zombie disappear or just block their line of sight so they can sleep. Now, I was doing this, and you can do this with a light sensor. It works. Your drops will work perfectly fine. But whenever it rains, your iron farm won't work because it's going to be too dark for the light sensor. And you can kind of adjust it. I haven't found a way to adjust it enough where it matters. Like, for example, if you make it so it has to be completely dark for it to turn off, use comparators and stuff like that. The problem you run in on is if you're on a multiplayer server and someone sleeps like right away, it might have not gotten dark enough to make them sleep, and then your whole system is kind of like your whole workaround didn't work, and it's not like you saved a lot of space doing that workaround anyways. The way that you should do it, and as you kind of saw, maybe you got a little peek, is we have a redstone line and it's going underground. Because, and I tried to do this, you can kind of see it in the distance, there's some redstone on top of my thing. I was kind of workshopping the redstone, so to speak. You can tell how up to no good I've been by how many levels I have. We went down below because we're like, I don't want to deal with the water anymore. Every time I broke a block, I had to reset that crafter like 10 times because I would be like, oh, I can break that block. And as you can see in the corner, we have Instamine, which is, it's lovely when you want it. It's not lovely when you don't want it. And there's redstone and there's water nearby. So we have this little workspace down here. And it's all set up. So it's set up right now where a pulse in will more or less open the trapdoors. And then if you remove that pulse, it will turn off the trapdoors. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put an observer, and we're going to have the observer facing a bed. Now, when that villager goes into the bed, two things happen. They go in, and when they're done sleeping, they exit. So that's two signals. Now, Luck, you might ask yourself, you only want that first signal, but you also want both of them, because with the way I have it set up, you want something that tells the trapdoors to open, because you want, this is a consistent signal. So you want something that tells the trapdoor to open and to close. So that's what we'll do. We'll have a T flip-flop that will have both of the outputs monitored with redstone, and that will go to kind of a etho clock without the timer. Well, actually, you know what? I'll just show you. Luck's over here trying to explain when I've literally built it. So over here, you can see where the bed would go. The bed feeds into this T flip-flop. This T flip-flop is nice because it has two outputs as well as two inputs. As you know, a T flip-flop, usually you put two inputs in, and then the idea is that they'll do what T flip-flops do. I'm not smart enough to explain that. I thought I was. Mistakes were made. Anyways, that goes to a redstone block, which just gets pushed back and forth by the pistons and the machine, and eventually it will turn on the trapdoors. Simple, right? Now, this system's also food for thought. Reason why you want it away from the other village, and preferably down below in a hole, because say you do a raid for some reason. The minute you do a raid, your villager's going to be freaking out. And if it's nighttime, they're going to be going into bed, out of the bed. I still can't believe the slime reaches down here. The range. Anyways, you don't want this villager to be freaking out. Preferably speaking, you want your iron farm to be outside of where a raid would ever happen. And I don't know if this is really raid proof. I mean, I like to put it all, preferably when I build this system, I've built this before, I like to put it in a glass cage. I like to just I like to watch the village suffer, you know, the villagers work, do their thing. And so essentially this is a little signal that will tell the villagers to sleep when the villagers sleep, because villagers will go to sleep a solid minute. That's like 45 seconds, but it's more or less a minute before a player can go to sleep. So no matter how fast you sleep or how fast it gets dark, this system will allow them to get their sleep tick on so that they find their bed again, reset the iron farm way faster than any light sensor or timer. And I mean, if you're dealing with villager mechanics, might as well let a villager do it. Why is there a block missing there? Why? But yeah, so you're dealing with villagers already. The only downside of this is moving a villager down here is going to be a pain in the butt. But that said, I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, you could even, it doesn't even really matter how you even set up the T flip-flop because there's just so much space down here. I mean, I could just kind of just, it's one of those things where it's like, sometimes redstone really benefits from being forced to be efficient, but other times you can kind of just YOLO it. Like once you actually understand how to build some of these redstone components. Now, the only problem with this T flip-flop that I've discovered is the outputs, especially if you're only using one output, it's fine. But if you're using both, the, what's this called? Comparator needs to be facing away from the dispenser that goes in the hopper. If you don't do that, it won't register the ping. Whoops. It's also important to put a full repeater there, just so you get a full signal strength as well. That's the only two you need to for sure make that redstone work. The other thing is usually I like to just, I mean, especially when space is not an issue, what I'll end up doing is you just make the redstone go above the system, and then, you know, that kind of thing. But because space is not a problem, we'll just kind of go, I like to make it just double, triple sure, you know, I like it so, I like to make it so the redstone is just for sure out of reach, not a problem, no weird signal mechanics, you know. Is it pretty? No, but I like redstone that is like idiot proof in that I can tell someone, hey, can you go make sure this is working? And like without like a crazy amount of explanation, they can kind of understand what's happening. You know, like they don't have to be a genius to be like, what magic are you doing? And it's like, it's not magic. And they'll be like, oh, I get what you're doing. And it's like, yeah. Actually, let's put we have most of the redstone we need, but we don't have all of it. So let's put some, these are our work chests. And I think we need a couple more bits of dust. And also the nice thing of this being, so this is, for perspective, it's not that far down from the thing, but it's far enough down to be safe away from water. And where is that slime chunk coming from? It's like, it's right here. I'm all the way down there. Why am I still hearing you? That's ridiculous. That needs a comparator. That's too sensitive. But look, why don't you just get rid of it? Because it is kind of funny, okay? You have to admit, it's a little funny. Sometimes, and it's not, well, it's actually mostly because I'm bad at redstone. Instead of having to count, sometimes I just like using a source, and then I don't have to think about it. About if the signal strength will make it, kind of thing. We can get rid of some of that redstone. And then, yep. And then, why did I do that? I don't know why I did that. Wait, what? Is there something in here? No, I could have sworn I heard a tick. Am I going crazy? We don't actually need another comparator there. We can just do a repeater. I like to sometimes use the repeaters as kind of like buffers to keep the signals from crossing. So that's all good. We can take that off. We can go back to, what did I have here? One of these, right? I think I had the wrong thing there. And so yeah, so now we have something that will take two outputs and two inputs and put two different outputs. That's the third thing. It can take two signals and do one thing, or do two things. I like understand this, but I'm like really bad at explaining it. Maybe that shows how I don't super understand it. Maybe, I don't know. Anywho, now we just need a simple, like this is the easy part. We essentially want to do kind of like something like that, and something like that, and then something like that. And then this is going to be our, you know what, maybe we should put this somewhere else. I'm bad at listening to my own voice. I'm like, yeah, I have all this space that I can work with. Proceeds to put something too close to something. Yep. And then we can actually we'll take this signal and loop it the long way. And then we'll take the signal and loop it this way. I just like to do a compared one again. I think this is long enough to not 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That, yeah, that should be fine. I mean, we can always test it just to double check. I know that's not, that's removing an extra thing, but it's fine. It's fine. Here, we're gonna do repeaters so we don't accidentally turn off that, just to be double, triple safe. In a perfect world, we would do rails probably, as far as like to minimize lag, but you know, we don't live in a perfect world, so it's fine. And actually the nice thing is, if we hook this up correctly, which I think it's still nighttime, is it? Nope, not nighttime. And I think these are open. So, yeah. So we need to set this up to work. Put the thing here. Yes. Yes. I had to think about that for a second. Actually, I don't need that many. A little bit more dust. Yeah. Technically speaking, I could set this off myself. And we won't. We'll use ourselves as the guinea pig. So when I go into the bed, so technically speaking, so if I'm right about this, yes, it's open. They're all panicking, which is great. Feel the terror. Now, when it's nighttime, when I sleep here, they should close and have enough. And I think what we'll do, is it worth it? Is it worth it to do a 2 seconds of replay just to do it? Because I don't think I can click. And can I click and can I? Because I get that when I go into free cam. Can I click into free cam? No. I can't click in free cam. That's unfortunate. I could use this time. Do I have glass on me? I don't think I do have glass on me. No. But as far as redstone goes, we're kind of good. It's a nice block high. We're going to essentially put... let's double check, make sure everything's not spawnable. There's just... There shouldn't be a risk of them. No, actually, I want to put glass here. Actually, oh. See? Oh, gotta love Instamine when you don't want it. It's the best. It's the best. You know, we're tempted to get the villager down here the hard way. Just have them walk. It's possible. It is very possible. We'll get some glass and maybe a boat. Yeah, it's like high noon, so we have some time. We can probably take down all this stuff too. I was like, did I lose? The problem when your inventory is a mess, it kind of just... Okay, insta-mining stopped. Yay. Insta-mining, bane of my existence. There's a reason why we don't have insta-mine on our base anymore. We used to have it here because I would mine obsidian down there before my obsidian farm. Which I have to say, I know I've promised, or not even promised, like teased. I don't promise anything, but I teased a shulker farm. But like, I don't know, it just seems so not fun. And I have enough shulkers, so I was mentioning this to Kyle. It's like, if I do a shulker farm, it's not even for me. It's for like other people. Like, I get no benefit from it. So I had glass with me the whole time. This is great. Well, you know, we emptied out our inventory. So there was still... Oh. I love it. So good at flying. We need a boat. A couple boats, actually. We have so many boats. I'm not crafting another boat. But yeah, I think that's the only bed available. So as long as I get one of them outside, we're kind of good. I just don't want to take that farmer. The farmer actually has purpose. Oh yeah, look at that. Come on, one of you. Preferably not you. No, no, no. No. Ah. See ya. See ya later, boys. Ignore the fact you will probably be forever imprisoned where you're going, but that is not something you need to worry about. You say, look, you have all the redstone and the whales. You have a gold farm. You can make a thing that goes to where you want it to go. And I'm like, you are correct. In every way. I can't even, there's no way, no point to even argue with your logic. It's just infallible. It's just the truth. Okay, we may have goofed up. We need temporary blocks of some kind. And a bed. It would be helpful. So here, we'll put that there. And we'll, just to kind of entice in them this direction. Oh, they picked up a profession too. Well, then worse things can happen, honestly. Oh, no one was using that as a spawn point. Oh, I gotta love villager AI. It's just so quirky. I don't mean that as a compliment. You're gonna go into the basement. Y'all? Actually, we need to make this a one-way trip. They jumped. There we go. I don't know at what point their AI will find the bed. But I assume it's gonna be a bit. yes, I'm fully aware of the irony that the insta mining is working in my favor now. Silence with your logic and reason. Oh, they found it. Let's get some glass out. This is gonna be perfect. They're going to turn on the redstone. And that means, oh, actually, let me. We'll let them have a little walk spot. Because these guys can lose sight of their bed too. Ironically enough. But let's go up. And let's look at our system. It is closed. So these villagers are now sleeping. The zombie's still there, but they're not terrified. They've refound their bed, you could say. Now let the player sleep. They've woken up. Redstone is on. They're terrified. And hopefully an iron golem will spawn shortly. That is the idea. Come on, come on. Please show that you're a good farm. See? There. Yep. And I don't know if you want to see how to build this iron farm, look in older episodes, but it's pretty simple. The cauldrons, their hitbox hits the cauldron or this lava block in the center. So regardless, they're taking lava damage. And you could technically make it so that they fall away from the farm. That's another way to make it more efficient. But we wanted the smallest iron farm you could make that's also pretty. So this is what we came up with. And obviously, you know, this is less than to be desired, but at a certain point, you just kind of have to make some things more efficient. So we have it auto-crafting. We have this timer down here set up. We can put away some of these goodies because we are done building for today. I hope we're done redstoning for today. I mean, I like redstone. It's fun. It's fun to be able to do farms like this to make them more efficient and all that stuff. We don't need a button. That's ridiculous. So yeah, now we have a more efficient iron farm. The timing's gonna be better. And we're gonna do one thing that a lot of people don't really take the time to notice. They're just like, oh, my iron farm is not working or something. And sometimes they just replace the villagers. But a lot of times what happens, even with the light system, is people just accept that when it rains, you don't get an iron farm. And we won't have that problem, which is kind of cool. Now when I look at them and they're terrified, I know that they're being productive. Now the other thing it's one of those things where it's like, I have my chunk loader, right? And it's actually on. It was a little spicy earlier, but the problem with the chunk loader was I was gone. And so, cause I mentioned the server rains a lot. So the server kind of, I remember Doc explaining it. It's not that it actually like visually loads this world when I'm not on and the chunk loader's going. It kind of does like math, and it does kind of an estimate of like how the farm's doing, drops like that. And the problem was when I logged out earlier today and I had the chunk loader going. Or actually it was yesterday. It was overnight and it was raining. And I logged back into the game and it was still raining. And I think what happened is the game calculated the average based off of a rainy night. And the farm doesn't do anything during the rainy night. So I came back on and there was like no iron in there. Even though the chunk loader was working. I'm like, But now hopefully everything is updated and it won't have that problem. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe redstone doesn't work that way. And maybe I just got unlucky. And sometimes it's kind of like, it's not that the chunk loaders has an issue. This is a great design. It's just on the nether side of the chunk loader is a fortress, and there's a lot of entities, and I think sometimes that overloads it, in my opinion. Or at least that's my theory. That is my theory. The other thing I did something which arguably kind of a waste of time, if I'm being honest, but I just kind of wanted to do it. And it has to do with my levels. So my levels got low again because Rue lost their stuff and I wanted them to have stuff again. Not that I felt bad or anything. I actually wanted them to kind of get to the point where they can play the game and it's fun. And sometimes just grinding stuff to get started over and over and over again, especially I feel like when you get caught in like a death loop, it's just not fun. So I was like, I have a lot of levels. I have a lot of stuff. I can help them out. So I used about 200 of my 300 levels. We got down to like 100, level 100, but we got back because we finally AFK'd the gold farm long enough to get this. Yes. There's no point to this. We have no plans. I mean, we did have that idea of the Apple store and selling them as like Fuji apples or Granny Smith apples or something like that. And I don't know, who knows, maybe I'll make them really cheap or something. But I don't know. They're not easy to craft, and it's not because like apples are hard to get. It's actually the gold. It uses a lot more gold than you think, and I just am not brave enough to AFK the iron farm or not the iron farm, the gold farm overnight. I feel like it's gonna swallow up all my stuff, and I just don't trust it. I don't trust it. I've watched enough videos of like Tango and Impulse being like, I lost all my stuff. And it's like, what'd you lose it to? Oh, the gold farm. And it's like, I don't think my design is much better. I mean, it's pretty much their design. The only different thing is the part that I stand on, which I don't think I did better. So it's not like if luck is going to die in their own gold farm. It's when is luck going to die in their own gold farm. And I don't super want to find out. I like having a lot of levels. I think it'd be fun if by the end of this episode we're at like 1,000. Oh, I'm gonna regret saying that. I don't know. Maybe 500. 500 seems reasonable. I keep forgetting that it's kind of scaled, so it gets harder and harder the higher you get. But yeah, so I think the next thing I've been regretting doing, not regretting, but like, where is it? I had a shulker full of Fibsh stuff, and I don't know where I put it. If I'm being perfectly honest, did I put it here? No. No. Where do we put it? Do we put it over here? No, that's stuff to build topside. There it is. This is our. So we really need to. I was thinking. And feel free to add in the comments. I probably won't do it this time. I was thinking about what if we put like a coral reef somewhere around here. Obviously I haven't terraformed it. There's also, the more I look in this water, and I know this is because this was like, I think it's like a cobble beach or whatever it's called. I forgot what it's called. It's a different biome, but the way it meets the water is just kind of ugly, and I can live with this. I can live with these boulders. Maybe, I don't know. I'm looking at it. I kind of dislike them even more. But this hole, I don't like this hole. I mean, I kind of like this. I feel like this can kind of blend in better. And this would be a good spot for a coral reef. I think it would be a good spot for a coral reef. I've already kind of lit it up down here because this is, you have to go underground to get this stuff now. But the transition should be pretty easy for most of it. I'm more or less just going to do like a cliff face, maybe smooth around some of it. But I do think just like how there's a coral reef here, it kind of goes that way and then feeds into this part. I mean, we do have a warm tropical ocean. Is it just warm ocean right here? So it's not too out of the ordinary, but you know, it just is what it is. A very dystopian thing I could do, and I don't know how I feel about it, because it kind of just generally makes me sad. Oof, we have light levels on. Gross. Is I kill the coral, and then I place dead coral, and it's like a dead coral. I think that's too on the nose. I know I was doing like a dystopian eco-tourist kind of thing, but then I stopped, and it's just, this base is just a base. I'm just living in a 2x2 tall bottom of a platform for no reason. Like it's I live under here. Like this is where I exist most of the time. I don't use this space. This is just exists. And I put farms down there, but like I don't go up here at all, except to maybe get tall enough where, like every once in a while, I don't feel like using a rocket, so I'll like come up here, so that when I jump off of this, I can kind of make it to the iron farm, because I can just barely make it. That is like the only reason I go over here. And oh wait, look, they're doing their thing. So you know what that means? That means that it's working. I mean, I knew it would work. I was not confident in it. But it's always nice to see something work the way it's supposed to. You know, sometimes you just need that boost of confidence in your life. And that's perfectly valid. Okay, look, you've procrastinated enough. I will... Do I have... I do. I have everything I need on me. Ugh. So... Oh, we don't have one thing. We need a bed. Oh, see, this is a problem. Sometimes the zombie pigmen will pick up the heads. I mean, unfortunately, they can pick up any item. So there's really no way of, like... There's nothing you could put in that system that they can't pick up. That's why people use minecarts, because the worst thing that can happen is they can go in the minecarts, which you could fix with like a chest minecart, obviously. But I find sometimes it's better to have... Oh wait, I wanted to steal a bed. It's better to have a chunk loader that the default is off than just forever on. I've not crashed this, so I do have a reputation. I do sometimes crash servers, is a thing I've been known to do. And I have not crashed Januscraft yet. Knock on wood. But one of the reasons why I probably haven't crashed Januscraft is I'm trying to be a little bit more conscious of the lag I produce and just kind of be more aware of it and be less of a menace. And I think I'm flying in the right direction. I am not. So it's that island. That's what I'm aiming for. So this is where I go for my schmand. And right next to where I go to my schmand, which is honestly probably would have been a better village to build next to, is this huge coral reef. Look, it's amazing. I love it. I love natural. So I'm mining it conscientiously, you could say. Like, I've kind of started over here. As you can see, there's just some missing. And I'm just trying to take it all out instead of leaving... Oh, I guess. Look at me getting caught. My crimes. But I think I'll just sit over here. I'll fill up a couple shulkers. I think I would like to have more coral. It's surprising how fast you kind of go through the coral when you're mining it, or not mining it, when you're building with it. So I think it's just good to have more than I think I need. Here, we'll put that there. We'll set our spawn. Did we? That's hilarious. We put, okay, well, I guess we're making 2 new shulkers. That's funny. So we'll put like the fan coral here, and we'll put the block coral here. And the idea is that we fill it up. We'll fill up these 2 shulkers, and then we'll go back there and we'll time lapse. When I'm done suffering here, I will get back to you, and then we'll explain the plan. And yeah, who knows? Maybe someone will log on. We can have some shenanigans until then. But this is the plan. I'm not time-lapsing this. I'm one time-lapse. You get 1 time-lapse of video. If I get 10,000 subscribers, you can get 2 time-lapse of video. But until then, you get 1. You get 1. You want me to have more. You want to have more cool time-lapses. And I will actually build some cool things to time-lapse them. But if you want that, get me more subscribers. Yeah, that's right. I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for fame. Just asking for subscribers. Something you can do for free. Shameless self-promotion. Subscribe. Welcome back. As you can see, luck has been busy. Well, I don't know if you can see. There's dirt. There's dirt. Dirt's always a good sign of productivity. And let me just show you what I've done. We've gotten some dirt. No, that's not our dirt. That's not our dirt either. That's our dirt. So we're ready with dirt. And we're actually ready with decoration blocks too. So we decide we're going to for sure make a coral reef. We've got some fibs too. And where is it? Where are you? This is actually a new idea I had. So this area here is going to be my coral reef, essentially where my iron farm is. We're going to have to put a door on that so our fish don't flippity flop to their death. I don't know. Please tell me in the comments whether these air blocks will kill my fish if they get trapped in there or something. I tried to waterlog them. It didn't work. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, Luck, what is the plan for the beach? Now, the beach is outlined in dirt. So the beach is outlined in dirt. Since you may be wondering, Luck, what is the plan? And there's two ways of showing it. We can show it in free cam, which actually shows it better. So this is going to be the beach. We try to incorporate some of the shallower generated parts of the land into it. I really wanted to incorporate this island out here into part of the beach, which is both can be a blessing and a curse because this is a huge area. This is a lot of dirt to place. And it's actually, so the part that's bad is actually the kelp. The kelp makes it super annoying. And I don't know if I should cut the kelp and then, you know, go through and place the dirt or just suffer. Obviously, some caves are just going to have to disappear, like this random cave here. I ain't filling it in. We're just going to cover it. Well, this whole area is going to get covered, so it won't matter. Including this area, this big problem abyss. But speaking of problem abysses, now that we have it outlined, we want to make more or less a cage for our fish that we're going to name, because if it's just open water, they'll eventually just kind of swim out and disappear. And we'll have like, we won't see them anymore. But if it's like this small an area, not only can we be able to enjoy all our fish, but we'll also be able to do a really nice, elaborate coral reef underwater kind of thing. Maybe put like a fun little thing, because it's, you know, if you make it too big, it's just hard to do. And I kind of liked what I did with this area. I thought it was fun. Obviously, as you saw, we have a lot of fish. We're going to name them. I mean, what's the point of having 312 levels if you don't name some fish? For context, it is 1 level per fish. So we have, so it does add up. It does add up. And I think we got what? How many shulkers? I don't even remember. Let's just look. So that's what? 4 times 27. It's just a little short of 100. So yeah, it's not going to take that many levels. But the thing that so obviously that's a big beach build. We're not doing that all today, but we are going to finish this part of this beach. So because we want to make this. We want to fence this off. We're going to do a mixture of chain fences, and it's hard because I want a light source. So I'll just do a quick little demo. I want to essentially do like more or less something like this. And then give me a sea lantern. Every once in a while I'll put like one of these. The problem is they're so clunky and I don't like it. I just don't like it. I know, it's like Luck, you're being a baby, but it's like I mean, it's a great light source. I do kind of like how it kind of moves. You have that radiating out pattern. What happens if I put a lantern there? Because what if I put a soul lantern? Fish can get through that gap. That's not good. So we either have to suffer with a big block, which I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to put them everywhere. I was thinking about putting them... maybe we'll add them last. So we'll do like... we'll just fence it off and then think about the lights afterwards. Or maybe my lovely comment section will be giving me some much needed feedback of how I should light up, because I kind of want to make it kind of like this is kind of like an IRL aquarium kind of thing, also functional, because like I just don't want to do it all out of glass. I think the problem with glass is I just don't want to do a whole block of something. I like how there's two options. It's iron gates or nothing. I guess I could do fences, but that just seems even more cursed if I did a fence. No winning. Is that the crux of the matter? Anyways, what we're gonna time lapse for you is we're gonna time lapse kind of filling in this transition period where it goes from beach to ground, and we're gonna do that up until the fenced off area on both sides. And where this is probably going to get a little tricky is over here, because this is a huge area, a big cavern essentially. So yeah, so we essentially want to trap our fish in a small location, so we'll see. Anyways, as they say, let's hop into that time lapse and let's see how long it takes Luck to do this. I'm open for no more than a couple hours. Is that optimistic? Is that naive? Maybe. But so the time lapse will include two parts. It will be obviously finishing the terraforming, and then it's also going to finish the gates. And then we'll come back and maybe we'll name some fish and we'll throw some fish in there. The other nice thing is that it will naturally spawn cod in there. It's an ugly fish, but it's still fish. You know. And since our fish will be named, they won't despawn. But yeah, let's start the time lapse right now. Well, I hope you enjoyed that time lapse as much as I enjoyed having to place all those blocks. I underestimated how horrible it would be to place all those iron bars. I'm really happy with it. I mean, look, we have a nice fenced-in area where we can put in all of our fish and not worry about any of them having issues with any form of like spawn issues. The one thing I think we will add right now is some light. And I don't know, where are you, lights? Pretty much in this one. Let's take out some of these and some of this. And what I really want to do, and it was nighttime, actually Sasha was on for like a little bit, and I noticed that this is not lit up, and that's a problem. And let's put on our light thing, and let's see the origins of said problem. I think we can honestly fix this with like one right there and one right there. We'll get to that later. We just haven't gotten the sand for it yet. I think we have enough dirt. We have 5 shulkers of dirt. And if we look at the map, I mean, it's a pretty big area, but remember, it's just the first layer. And honestly, we might end up using some other trash blocks to fill in the gaps too, because we don't really want to break them. So any block will really do. And we also have to do a little bit more transitioning because that's a pretty big hill. I don't want it just to go up to the hill like we did over there. We want it to kind of blend a little bit better. So that's it for that. Let's get our fish on and do a little bit of, see, the reason I did a lot of little, where's a good example of it? Like little nooks like this was so I could put some sea pickles on it. We did think about putting maybe a conduit down here, but I kind of like making use of how some areas will be lit, some areas will not be. Kind of dynamic lighting that you can do with sea pickles. Problem with the conduit is you just get regular old, like, see in the dark, what's it called? Night vision. And it just doesn't add, you can't play with the lighting as much. Now, it's not like I'm doing this because of mobs or anything. I'm actually just doing this purely out of aesthetics. Because a lot of times when you look at water down below, from above, you can kind of see, like, for example, I can see the lit areas a lot better than the dark areas from up here. I mean, it's crazy to think that underneath this is just like, it's all just hollow. It's all just hollow. Because this looks like Minecraft generation. Like, that could be natural. But it's not. We made it all up. It's all fake. It's all fake, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Well now. Now, we've done a couple resource grinds, and I hate to say it, I think we're ready to begin our adventure on the beach. And I'm going to time-lapse it for you. You're going to get 2 time-lapses in one video. And this is so close to the end. Did you even stay for it? We're going to actually make the beach. We're going to make the entire thing. All the schmand, all the dirt, everything. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's just get into it. And here we go. It's done. It's done. It's the biggest project I think I've ever done in my Minecraft career. I'm very pleased with it. Obviously, the lights may have been done post time lapse. I hope you can forgive me. At that point, my brain just kind of went burr, and it's all lit up. And I love it. I don't know. Let's see if we can get a good kind of shot of it. I mean, it just kind of looks like, apart from the fact part of it's kind of just floating there. If you look straight from above and you kind of forgive a couple of the edges, it kind of looks like this is just meant to be here. But look at all this, like, I can't even get it all in my render distance, all the beachfront that we've added now. Look at that. Look at that. And now, I remember at the beginning of the episode, I was like, let's get to 1,000 levels. And now I'm at nothing. We are at nothing. Yep. It wasn't me, it was Grace. Grace was just like, so I did, in Grace's defense, I did want to use my axe on someone, and Grace volunteered, and then Grace was like, well, you got to get me, I get to get you, and I was like, but I have 300 levels. Pain. But yeah, oh, it's so amazing. I love this. And it's actually what's even weirder is just being under it and just seeing all the hollow, like this hollow mountain, which I had to light up because I was like, well, this is just a problem waiting to happen. And oh, look, all this just kelp just existing. I probably should have broke it in hindsight. But I like this beach. I hope you liked the time lapse. It was fun. I think this took 9 shulkers of sand, and so, you know, more or less close to that same amount in dirt. I did use, obviously, there were parts where I was like, oh, I'm just going to lava bucket in between to make stone. So that kind of saved some resources. It didn't save a whole lot, if I'm being perfectly honest. And we also used like a ton of stone, like extending that mountain. Like we had to turn almost all of our cobble using furnaces back into stone. So I really hope I don't have to craft a ton of pistons anytime soon, because I put it shortly, I am resource broke after this. I am resource broke, and I could take a long break from any form of clicking, that's for sure. My mouse button is just go burr. Go burr. But thank you so much for everything. Thank you for so much for staying till the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed the reward that was the longer time lapse. I knew how big of a project this was going to be, and that's partially why I kind of dragged my feet so much with it. And in the beginning of the episode, I'll be honest, I thought at most maybe I would outline it, maybe a couple of layers of dirt. I didn't think I'd be doing this whole thing, but I did. It was like one of those things where it's like, you get to a certain point where you're like, well, I'm committed now. And then as you can see, I left that last little square in the middle, and I actually didn't think I had enough sand. And I was like, well, if we don't have enough sand, we'll just have a rectangle missing the center. We had actually too much sand. We have 2 extra shulkers of sand. So, yeah. And then, I mean, my favorite part is just looking at the map and then knowing that like pretty much this whole area was added by me. That's cool. And it wasn't just me. I got motivation from knowing that y'all are liking the videos, especially these longer videos. They are, I wouldn't say they're harder to edit. It's just definitely a different thing. And it's kind of hard when you start like almost a whole week before, like this, 1 week to another week. And it's hard to think in that moment, okay, what's happening at the end? And can you tie it all together? And yeah. And obviously, for example, like with the iron bars for our fish sanctuary, not to mention we didn't do our fish because I think we just got tired, but we ended up just doing fence gates. Or is it iron fences? Whatever they're called. We didn't put any sea lanterns on it. Just because, I don't know why. I just really... Hot take, I don't like sea lanterns. Maybe it's because the frog lights are just so superior. They're just so much better. And there's so much variety on them. And they're easier to break. You don't need silk on them. They're just better in every way. I mean, even blaze rods are better. It's just you can't put them underwater. That's the only downside of blaze rods. But yeah. I'm very content. Now, let me... I have a little message from Mini Luck that I'm going to let them go on and talk to you about that. Woo, Bobby's working really hard now. I would like to just stop to thank you for staying and subscribing. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And if not, share this video. And if you want to see more things, we might be getting into streaming again. Leave a comment if you think that might be interesting. Obviously, as you can see, this is a VTuber model. Oh my God, wow. I know this is all thanks to, I would say it's thanks to the algorithm, but it really isn't. Look, this is why you're never going to get sponsored. You know, if I get sponsored, I hope my first sponsor is Blockbuster. Let's be honest. Let's, you know, the real ones. The real ones know. But anyways, thanks again. And yeah, everyone have a good day. Enjoy your weekend. Have good food. Sleep. I don't know. Play Minecraft. Why don't you play Minecraft? Okay, bye-bye.